Dear viewers, welcome back to your favorite YouTube channel, Yoleno TV. So we have reasons to believe that there has been a nationwide rigging.
Tuwe mbona kuna machezo hapo, machezo hapo. Kwanza sisi ndio tulikuletea hizi vitu. Tumekuletea. Tumekuletea. Hizi ndio tumeshika mwili.
Like this one is already marked. Unaona hii? Is already marked. Margaret Wanjiru. And it is stamped.
And stamped by IEBC.
Mzika hiyo?
That means
so there's a valid. Inafanya nini?
Angalia hii. This is MCA. Nini uchaguzi gani sasa? Punguza hiyo. Lete rais. Na igate.
Toya baba.
Na igate.
Obviously we don't mix demand.
Na naambiwa
That we are helping you in your
Lete zile form
na kusaidia gari msaidia.
Lete form 34 lete. 34 iko hapa.
Doctor,
ile
ilikuwa 183.
in fact, most of the things are really enclosed, so you don't even know what is inside there.
Angalia hii.
This is another one.
Lete hii.
Hiyo ndio baba hiyo.
Hii ni gani?
Presidential.
Imagine hii angalia. What are you?
This is our Kenya constituency.
Look at this. This is for presidential election. Look at this. A whole ring.
1,000.
Hiyo 1,000. Look at this.
Because we were marked already.
Ukiwekewa kwa sanduku hii peke yake.
You should also check the
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen the details. There is Charity Ngulu. There is Sifuna is there. Then there is Rachel Shebesh. So these allegations were strong. I remember in one of those incidences, it was alleged that 4 of the IEBC officials were arrested after Form 34 A's and B's were missing. And then the police were alerted, and then they took full force and arrested the 4. But then it's alleged that from that arrest, then they managed to recover 3 Form 34As, but 1 Form 34A was still missing. Now, I think you understand that this is very serious because IEBC is waiting for Form 34As to be submitted, the physical documents to be submitted at Bomas National Tallying Center for final verification. Because you see the law, the way IEBC has actually formulated this, the submission of result this time round is that at the polling station, the ROs are supposed to submit Form 34As to the portal of IEBC. Now, anyone who like to have their own tally you can actually conduct your own tally. You can go to the portal of IEBC, pick a form, tabulate your own data, have your own results. So IEBC has made that possible this time round. So, but IEBC is going further and saying that they cannot just make conclusions on the numbers until they see the manual documents. So the manual Form 34, that 34 documents are supposed to be provided, which will formulate Form 34B, and then at long last formulate Form 34C, which will now be the final result, which will be communicated to the people of the Republic of Kenya. So the bone of contention was that IEBC officials were seen carrying bags with ballot papers, printed ballot papers with stamps. Some were not stamped, some were genuine, some were fake. So this thing has caused a lot of eyebrow. And you see, when you go back a bit to the history of how ballot papers arrived in Kenya, then you realize that there was already some eyebrows were actually raised back then. Because if CHEBUKATI was asked in an interview previously about the arrival of those ballot papers, but then he was not sure whether they were going to arrive on that material date. If you look at the case of the Smartmatic officials and those officials who were found with stickers and the like, then you realize that there has always been a grand scheme to rig the elections of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not my own facts, but these are the happenings that are going on. These are things that are going on, events that are going on now. as the process of tallying is continuing in Bomas, which is now the main national tallying center. Let's go to this speech that was aired out about some few hours ago. And you can see there is Rachel Shebesh again, there is Junet Mohammed, senior most person in the Azimio and the ODM party. So let's listen to them.
We actually also called the police and we said we were worried about the police officers who seem to be compromised. So everything that is happening now, it is not that we do not follow procedure. We followed all procedure that IEBC has laid out. But unfortunately, even with giving them that indication that something is going on, it has taken our own supporters to find these materials and to actually force these suspects to be brought here, which is very, very unfortunate. But I can tell you that in Nairobi, there is a big rigging plan and a scheme that is so orchestrated that it is sad at which level it has gone to, from IEBC itself, and that's why the officers are here, to the security agencies. It is sad, and we are going to raise those issues.
This person accessed these ballot papers. You remember the way ballot papers arrived in this country? Zilikuja kwa njia ya utatanishi at the airport. Some commissioners even say they're not aware of the arrival of the ballot papers. Now somebody is working with them in town here in Nairobi. This must be happening in all parts of the country, because if somebody could access ballot papers, document like ballot papers in Nairobi, well, what stops him from accessing in a rural place where there is no police even?
Ladies and gentlemen, even though people turned up in small numbers, but the election has been peaceful. From what we see, from the allegations that have been aired out by those senior-most people in the Republic of Kenya, we are coming to the conclusions that the only people who are trying to mess up these elections are the IEBC themselves. Because if IEBC officials are seen carrying ballot papers, like there was a case of Mombasa, and I shared a video in my previous analysis, and I will again share that video so that you can have a glimpse of what is happening. If in that Mombasa video also there was the same thing that was witnessed in Sarai, whereby IEBC officials are seen carrying ballot papers printed, awaiting marking. So what they are doing, I think they converge at a place, a secret place, and mark these papers. Then they stash them in the ballot boxes. And I think, if I'm not wrong, you see, at the end of the day, these boxes are taken to the main tally center of a particular region. Then the calculations are done and the forms are filled and submitted to IEBC portal. So at the end of the day, IEBC now tallies wrong figures, because if these forms are submitted to the IEBC portal and then the same wrong forms are brought physically to the tally center, but mind you, the numbers in those form 34A are the numbers that were cooked as a result of the cooked ballot papers, which were marked by these rogue IEBC officials. So you realize that at the end of the day, CHEBUKATI will find himself announcing results which do not meet the reflection of the true votes which were casted. Ladies and gentlemen, perhaps if you're watching this video for the first time and you haven't subscribed, please take a moment and subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, like I was saying, and I've been saying, and I keep on saying, that the election is not free and fair. To the observers, to the electoral observers, it appears free and fair, because most of the time observers only look at the peace aspect of this whole process, but they don't know what is happening behind the scene. Behind the scenes, there is a lot of cooking. So if, for example, if in big towns like Mombasa and Nairobi, we could see such kind of rigging going on, then what about the remote polling stations in, those remote areas in Mount Kenya? What about those remote areas in Rift Valley? It could even happen in Nyanza, Western Province. Those remote areas, what do you think could be happening? Those are areas with little security. Security is not as beefed as the way it is in the town centers, the bigger towns. So what do you think is happening down there? I think there is massive rigging and massive starching of votes within these ballot boxes. And I think even some of these Form 34As are not reliable. The figures that are contained in those Form 34As cannot be relied upon if whatever we've seen in Nairobi and Mombasa and Kirinyaga is anything to go by. We have information that there are still some Form 34As that are still retained within Tharaka Nithi and have not been relayed to the Bomas of Kenya. So these forms, again, I think are the ones which are forming the basis of a rigging plot. So there is a grand scheme to rig someone in and rig someone out of this presidential election. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to wind up there. But I still promise to follow up on this matter of rigging, because we believe that something is not right. And if you're a first-time viewer, please take a moment and support our channel by subscribing to it. Now, until we meet again, I'd like to say, stay safe, stay blessed.